because a lot of people know how edgy they used to. Like I watch Charlamagne now, and I think Charlamagne has adjusted to the current landscape.
Oh yeah, man.
But like, and every time people bring shit up, I always watch motherfuckers like, yo, like they never heard it before. Like, bro, part of the reason Charlamagne was like Charlamagne, like I remember I did an interview with him in 2013, my very first interview, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm talking to him, and he's like, yo, he's like, there's nothing better than a white Nubian queen. And like he goes into, and it's funny. It's funny at the moment. Now it's seen as just like you hate black women. Like that same type of, like it's funny then, but now it comes across completely different because we're in a completely different time.
Yo, listen, like my last interview with Charlamagne, about a year ago. After the interview, he called me and wanted certain parts out of the interview. In fact, he wanted to redo the entire interview.
Really?
We finally compromised that, like, so I'll just take these parts out. It's not like I was trying to run it anyways. Like, I was like, that's no problem, but I don't think we should redo the entire interview. We actually had a good interview. But if you have a problem with these parts, I'll cut those out. Not a problem. In my whole, you understand, I've known Charlamagne for 20 years.
Yo,
he's never asked me to do this ever in life before this. Yeah. Ever. The fact that he's having to do this now just shows we're in a different time and he's in a different space as well.
I think when I heard him on the Impulsive podcast with Logan Paul, and he kind of refers to himself or like how he did content as almost like a character. And he's basically kind of like, I'm summarizing, like, he's like, he killed the character. And I'm like, damn, it's kind of interesting to think about shit like that. But it's like, when I think Charlamagne, I'm thinking Charlamagne. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that can't exist now. I think it's the same reason why, like, for example, people like Chris Rock say, yo, I don't want to perform my art in like at colleges, because some of the jokes that might be edgy, now you're going to say not only, oh, you're misogynistic, you're, xenophobic, you're this, you're that, you're whatever the case is. So I think these days it's interesting watching how comedy has changed, but also watch how people do, like,
well, to me, for me, the way I look at it is it's not that societal standards have changed. It's the fact that social media has now brought a voice to individuals that otherwise didn't have much of a voice before. And when they start to band together, it's been shown that they've been able to make some level of change.
Yeah, but also, like, they're completely nitpicking. I'm telling you.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, the nitpicking or otherwise, I'm not saying it's a justified thing.
Vlad, I'll give you an example. When I did the Warren Chirac, I'm telling you, first of all, it wasn't that many people who knew about it, but for the people who were engaged and for the people who did talk about it, they don't talk about it like how they talk about it now. The way they talk about it now is like I was Hitler. Right. When back then, they used to be like, yo, look at this fucking nerd just talking about like some hood shit. That's it. Now when they talk about it, they talk about, they have now framed it in exploitation. Like,
yeah. I mean, but that's because you got bigger over time. If you never got bigger than Warren Chirac,
that's true.
No one would give a shit. You still be, there's still these like Chicago, like if you go through YouTube, there's a lot of Warren Chirac type YouTube channels. There's probably at least 100 of them that do exactly what you're talking about. A lot of times it'd be like some foreign guy. You could tell by the accent. The guy's not even American, just talking about a bunch of shit that a lot of times isn't even true. It's like, oh, well, this Chief Keef beef started from, some bullshit that didn't even fucking happen, but the video got 300,000 views because it sounds exciting and so forth. So, you've grown past that and you've transitioned into a new part of your business. But there's lots of dudes who are right there where you were back then that will gladly take that torch and will run with it until their YouTube channel gets shut down.
Hey, let me tell you this. And I always, like, there's this guy on No Jumper, which they've compared. Actually, I've talked to him too. His name is Porter Flacco. He's like, yo, act like, yo, I grew up watching you type of shit. You get me? And I see him, I'm gonna say emulated. I don't mean this in any type of disrespect to him, and nor do I feel disrespected when he's doing. I don't call it an impression or emulating, but he's using certain things that he's seen me do over the years. And by the way, I remember when I first started, people used to be like, well, shit, I remember Charlamagne called me even. It was like, yo, act. Sometimes I hear it and I'm like, oh shit, oh, that's interesting and unique. That's like act. But then sometimes I feel like you're doing a little bit of me, right? And what I was trying to also say to the guy, Poetic Flacco, right? I was just like, I could never do my career again now, ever. Like, it's over. I'm telling you, it wouldn't happen. The timing changed. Like, imagine if Charlamagne was a no-name journalist or a no-name radio personality now, or no-name podcaster. Mm-hmm. How does he make those waves, knowing that, to be honest, most of those things that was kind of, you know, either salacious or really hilarious at the time. Like, everybody laughed when he made, well, he didn't make, but Lil Mama cried on the show.
Yeah.
You know what they look at him as now? A bully. Like, yo, you're just bullying people.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's proud of that either, though. I don't think making a girl cry is...
Well, it's taken out of context, though. He didn't make her cry. He brought up something, and she cried. He wasn't like...
Didn't he make a comment that she has like a young old face or something like that?
No. So obviously,
I don't exactly remember.
Yeah, Joe scattered in there, but like, yeah. You know, like that's his type of guy, right? But he didn't make her cry like he was bullying her. He was kind of like, while going through an interview, like if you're interviewing someone about something or their life, and they get to talk about some either hardships they went through and they cried, like that's completely different than you're roasting someone like, yo, you look ugly as shit, like, you know what I mean? So that's not what he was doing. But
the young old face, am I just making this up?
No, he did say something like that.
I think insulting a woman's looks on a large platform like that is not something that I'm sure that he's proud of in 2022.
I feel they've got my man Charlamagne all the way woke now. Like, they got him. Like, yo, again, he's I think just one of the most talented motherfuckers out there. But I feel like because he's trying to get to different heights, he has to play it so much within the lines that I'm like, man, this guy was the funniest guy, period. Like in the whole genre. And then now I'm like watching him, I'm like, I feel like he's not trying to put his foot in his mouth.
Yeah, no, like I told you, like our last interview was not our usual interview. Like I remember, I think probably one of the reasons why Drake's guy approached me in New Orleans was there was a clip that we have that's still up where Charlamagne
was clown. Oh,
you
yeah.
talking about Drake, he said there's gay, there's straight, then there's Drake.
No, that's hilarious. I'm
right?
sorry.
It's funny, right?
That's
it's funny.
Hilarious.
It's funny.
Yo, by the way, if you say that now, you're some type of like,
homophobe.
Yeah.
Right? You're a homophobe right now. But that was funny. Like, it was an actual funny joke. It's like he's saying that he's sort of like kind of in the middle, sort of, but like this was a time where Drake had all the emotional lyrics where not a lot of rappers were doing
Drake a beige little girl, like or something of the sort. And like I think about it now, and I'm like, damn, people really do. Like, are we more sensitive now?
Yo, honestly, I don't think that we're more sensitive. I think that we have seen time and time again when a certain group of people on social media have banded together and actually made some sort of difference and actually enforced their will on an individual or a company or something like that, and have actually had success doing it. So they want to basically do that over and over and over again. Like, how many times have you read, we need to cancel, academics?
Yeah.
You're canceled. We're going to cancel you. Like, people are saying that not because they're delusional. I mean, it's because they've seen other people canceled before. They've seen groups of people get together and suddenly so-and-so just lost this movie deal. So-and-so just lost his sponsorship. So-and-so just got kicked. Listen,